President Slavin. That might not surprise people, but I'm grateful for his extraordinary leadership. And this is a really, I feel like a triumphant moment that I've got to witness and be a part of with my partner, Senior Senator, and the great Congressperson. We were here a little over 2 years ago. And I just want to start by showering praise on Dr. Rosenberg and Dr. LaPietra for their incredible, innovative, visionary leadership and what they've accomplished. Thank you very much. Please give them another round of applause. And this is a data-driven moment where we see very clearly that we have a crisis that is quantifiable. It is staggering and epic in its evil and its proportions. The opioid crisis in our country is truly at a disastrous moment. We're literally seeing the life expectancy in our country go down as a result of this crisis. We're seeing families and communities be destroyed, regions of our country. We're seeing these pain pills be prescribed at levels that literally in 2015 there was enough pain medication being prescribed in our country, opioids being prescribed for every single American to have opioid treatment for 3 weeks. That's the level of these drugs pouring into our community, leading directly into other opioid addictions, to the heroin crisis. This is a national crisis. But at this same time that this crisis is happening, right here in New Jersey, we know that devastation. We know that the opioid epidemic does not discriminate. We know that it affects Republicans and Democrats, urban areas, suburban areas. We know the vastness of the crisis. But it is how we responded to the crisis that is so inspiring to me. We know that you cannot have great hope without having great despair. That hope is this conviction that despair will not have the last word. And this conviction, this sense of urgency, this response, this is what we are celebrating and focusing on today. These two doctors that I highlighted, and the entire team here at St. Joe's saw the crisis and they responded. They didn't just sit back and curse the darkness, they put forth light that is now not just illuminating in measurable ways this community, but is creating light and hope and promise across our nation. A little over 2 years ago, we came to St. Joe's to see the work that was being done here as they officially implemented the Alternatives to Opioids program. They didn't abdicate responsibility to others. They decided to challenge this epidemic head on. And 2 years later, they haven't just revolutionized this hospital, but they are leading the way. They are pioneers for emergency departments all across this country. I was stunned in the best of ways at the results, an 82% reduction in opioid use in your ER in just 2 years. 82%. It's given Senator Menendez and I such great leverage in actually getting legislation moving on the federal level. When you see communities like Colorado modeling their opioid alternative after the one right here, you know you've got a coast to coast, from the mountains to the Atlantic. Here we've got a movement going. 2 years later, we joined together just last month with these very colleagues from across the aisle, from across the country, from West Virginia to Colorado, bipartisan, bicameral, to introduce a bill that is modeled on this program, the ALTO bill. I am so excited that our bill follows this model that has been demonstrated here, creating a 3-year demonstration program to test the kind of alternative pain management protocols you all are using here in order to address the opioid epidemic front end. I'm proud to say that our bill, part of our bill, has already been included in a larger package from Senators Alexander and Murray, two of the senior senators on the Health Committee, in part of their major bill called the Opioid Crisis Response Act. Already we see the genius here being incorporated in legislation that is moving in Congress. The work you are doing here, it is innovative, it is inspiring, it is shining that light against the darkness. It is exactly the substance of things that have been hoped for. It is truly one of those moments where we are making a difference that will affect thousands and thousands of lives. And so here we stand now, in the face of a crisis that is still hurting, but we have momentum, not just in this community, but on the national level. I want to introduce now my senior senator. Senator Menendez, he comes from the kind of grit and the kind of ingenuity that is being shown here at this hospital. He, in his very story of his life, is a beat the odds story. He is like that movie that shaped my childhood called Rocky. He is sort of the Sylvester Stallone character that could beat the odds to get to where he is. But the beautiful thing I love about my senior senator is he hasn't forgotten where he came from. He's still that immigrant kid from Hudson County where he found the American dream here. And he's been my partner for the last 5 years as his junior senator, partnering to take the best of New Jersey's ideas, the promise and the hope and the progress that's been made, and to try to make it real for our state and for our nation. You all have activated and engaged the best of who Senator Menendez and I are, and I'm so excited that he is my partner now in moving legislation that will save lives in America. Ladies and gentlemen, he is not the Italian stallion, but he is a Cuban, courageous legislator. I bring forward Senator Menendez, who hates when I introduce him.
Mascarell's the Italian stallion, so. Besides, I remember the end of that fight with Rocky. He didn't look too good. I had to go to St. Joe's to get patched up. So let me, before I say anything else,